Oh, we are having a fantastic time here in the casting booth, having fun here with our high school invitational tournament. We are at St. Charles, Missouri. Hello, St. Charles. Hope you all are doing well. The cold front really came through down here in the southwest part of the state, and so now we are a little bit cold down here. But what is hot is the action on the screen. We got two new teams coming in here for their first round. It's going to be Francis Howell Spartans versus the Fox High School Warriors. Here's a look at our bracket. We do see the Gateway Gators getting their first round win, so they'll be taking on the winner of this matchup.
Yep, winner. Pretty darn good, we do have to say, in their first game matchup. But now, we're going to turn our eyes to our second game of the day. It will be Francis Howell Central Spartans here on your left. They would have Jackson, JD, 2334, Carter, Kata, very creative, and many other players to go along the way. We're actually going to dive straight on in, Billy. On your left, we will have, we will have Francis, I believe, on the left, and on our right will be the Fox Senior High Warriors.
That is correct. I mean, we're going to see Coliseo starting point. This is actually kind of interesting because we started, Coliseo last series and we went on to Antarctic Peninsula. So, you know what? We've got, apparently, we're going to go Ramatra v. Arissa here. Lots of damage coming out from both sides. We've got a May as well with some speed on both sides. There we go. We got the speed options coming on. So, I mean, you're going to be looking to get that Bastion around and get your tank into position.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a big game of positioning and speed. Francis Hall will have a little bit more, having that Symmetra teleporter from Kata. They're going to get to the point first and have the opportunity to set up JD in these oncoming fights and allow Dashing here to take that position, but JD is the first one to go down. Fox Senior High Warriors striking back first. That transformation tank is shredding through Dashing. They're managing to stay alive from the incredible support of Superhoff here, and it's going to be enough to allow them to stay a tiny bit longer, but Fox Senior High Warriors going to be coming out strong and clearly with a vengeance here.
I mean, you've got the mitigation of the shield from the Ramatra. You've also got the Nemesis form where they're blocking. They're going to try and take this first corner. Here's where I think that you need to disengage. When you come back into battle, you get your first, 15, 25 meters. Then you take a second fight. And I think that you work for positioning here. You try to dislodge Francis Howell from the high ground. And Fox Senior High right now is absolutely playing this perfectly.
Yeah, and look at that. Their ultimate charge too. Mango already has an amplification matrix on board. I mean, they have been putting in all of the healing for this team. The Immortality Field, though, out a little bit earlier than they would have liked to see. So I would like to see them take out this amplification matrix, start to use that early as the engagement tool, take the positioning, Billy. That's exactly what they're going to do. A giant shield will be in their way when it comes to the battle. The positions have been flipped, but JD will go down once again to the hands of Nano Reed. Positioning Fox Senior Warriors on the high ground. It is a trade out. Finally, that matrix laid down on the field. What can Fox Senior High manage to find with that ability? It forces Francis Howell Central Spartan back a little bit, but they're caught up in the blizzard. Dashing able to escape for long with so many players looking in their direction. Surely, this isn't going to last much longer, Billy.
Even Dashing is actually holding on to the point. Oh my god. They actually managed to steal 7 meters away just by sheer will alone. And this is actually going to reset the fight here for Fox Senior High. So, I mean, they're going to have to do all this work again. Now, there is a lot more forward progress here, so they might get to butt scratch moment here.
Yeah, it does seem that JD is not back in the fight yet either. So Francis Howell, this is their chance to get aggressive. They use the sound barrier early. Nano Reed will be down. That is what we wanted to see from this team. They have to find some sort of momentum, but this annihilation is going to make it difficult. They have to close it out early. The Terra Surge is in, but they're down in numbers. Beautiful Maywell to displace the Arissa, and Fox Senior High, they are still going to get the move on and reach that butt scratch just like you said, Billy.
Oh man, I actually thought that Kata was going to actually turn that fight around. They had the microwave beam up to level 3 and was just shredding through people, but everybody turned and got the work done on the back end of it. Still holding on to sound barrier is typical here for Fox Senior High. The artillery strike is being let loose.
Ooh, I like the initiation here. Francis Howell hoping to get some early damage in. Is it gonna find anything though? Rogue safe and sound in ice block, but not a lot of health to spare. Wall allowing Kata to burn right through. Has that full beam charge once again. Billy, Francis Howell, this is their best chance to start turning this fight around as we see their Gnarly Harbor hanging on for dear life, amazingly still alive, but as soon as Kata turns their sights to their direction, that will be a short end to the team as this Metro is shredding through Fox Senior High.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, this is a great counter to the Ramatra and the May because you charge up the beam on the ice wall, you charge it up on the flimsy Ramatra shield, and then you just go ham. And the aim was true. Kata has another photon barrier to go, and they're going to be able to make a contest on this point.
Yeah, I mean, look at that photon barrier too. That's going to get them basically all the way up to the fight that they needed to take. Fox Senior High, you have to back up. But this amplification matrix, I love the positioning of it, Billy, because it's not going to allow them to push forwards. Once that shield goes down, there's just not much you can do. They have to hide. They have to kite away from that impending damage that is set up by Fox Senior High. The blizzard laid down, things starting to get even chillier than they already are. And Francis Howell Central will be going down to a freezing death here. Fox Senior High going to be back in control.
This is a fantastic fight from both teams. I mean, they are absolutely slugging it out here, Tidy, and they're not done yet. They're still looking for more, but the Orisa finally goes down and kind of waves at everybody, accepting their fate. Coming into this next fight, Terra Surge up again for dashing.
Wow.
This is fast generation of one of the slowest building ultimates in the game. And you've got a sound barrier and a window. This is great initiation tools for them to flip this point back over.
Yeah, and with how Francis has been taking these fights, we want to see them continue that initiation, stack that ant matrix on the high ground to Super Hop, not allowing the team to go much farther, but somehow Vimantro ends up falling. It's a lot of the sustain down. What could have been a great fight for Francis Howell is completely turned on its head as Fox Senior High have simply hit the shots first, and they're all separated. They're spread out. Did you see where JD is forced all the way on the low ground right now, Billy?
I mean, this is actually insane. I mean, I love the rotation. I love what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make it a two-pronged attack or defense of this point. I mean, TS1, it's feeling the Brett wanting everybody to choose their position.
Terra Surge? Oh, the Terra Surge with the Immortality Field is even better. Mango helped keep their team alive, but you cannot withstand what Kata is doing on this Bastion. See the Annihilation form out as well. That's 3 key ultimates that Fox Senior High used in this last fight, Billy, that they're not going to find that much value from. And Francis Howell Central are going to gain a lot of distance from that.
I mean, they put the sound barrier out. That's the big one that's really shredding my goat right now. But I mean, you know, you look at Super Hop, already halfway towards another amp matrix, so that's huge. I mean, they empty their war chest. I mean, Fox Senior High is actually going to go out early with this amp or with this artillery strike. Do they get anything on the back of it?
Nope, not by the looks of it, but it does get the Immortality Field out in the blizzard. That's what we're seeing again. Rogue coming up big with the ultimate of the May to get that player out of protection. So Francis Howell, they want to make an escape, but Dashing finding themselves stuck between 2 walls. Can still back up, but the staggers right now are inevitable. Francis Howell Central need to stop the bleeding. Now is the time. We're reaching that point of just 3.5 minutes here, Billy.
110 meters is my point of no return, especially with only 3.5 minutes. I mean, this is going to take 4 fights for Fox to be able to turn this around, get themselves into a position. Yeah, I mean, they got to win at least 3 in a row. They really do need to get this back to neutral, and I mean, that amp matrix is going to help them.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to force Fox Senior High to back off, but they've been so good with the positioning. You can tell how disciplined they are, Billy, when it comes to this spot, but they waited a little bit too long. Mango goes down. The main point of healing is gone to sustain. Simply not going to be present, so Kata going to go and shred him on down with the as per usual, and that's the first fight of many that Fox Senior High are going to have to win to turn this game around.
I mean, fantastic from Kata, really going in on the back of what Ravishing or Dashing is putting out there in the Orisa. Holds on to the Terra Surge this time. That's a big kicker for them because they don't overinvest.
That's very true. You still have some of these main resources to help you move on forwards. I'm very impressed with these teams so far and their ability to think these fights through, plan them out in advance, and take the initiative here as we're seeing Dashing in the Terra Surge, setting up Kata perfectly to mow down the remainder of Francis Howell. That's still the sound barrier used here too, so big investment from the squad in blue to come out on top, and getting a trade out for the Annihilation makes it all sweeter.
Oh yeah, I mean, you take that 10 times in a row and then 13 times on Sunday, and now they're actually getting good progress moving forward. They did empty a lot. They use the terror surge and the sound barrier, but I mean, it's worth it. And they're going to have the advantage here coming into this next fight because they do have this artillery strike. It's going to make Francis Howell really have to consider their pathing coming onto the point.
They're not even giving them a chance to get to the point. Look how early this artillery strike is. Looking for the Baptiste. Mango, though, able to juke their way out of the line of fire. So everyone's safe and sound from Fox for now. There's a lot more to worry about as this fight starts to unleash. They're dropping down under the bridge, trying to take the fight close, but you don't want to do that with Connors in this action form. They are just doing everything for Francis Howell. Ashton, that's who you set up to be your guy, to be the one to pop off. Kata doing just that. And Francis Howell, Central Billy, they're going to get the bus stretch. This is turnable.
Oh, I mean, we're at 90, or I'm sorry, we're at 65 seconds left here in this round, and we're no closer to understanding who is going to win out here. The May. The May has to be the primary focus. They have to know that the Blizzard is ready. Do they engage early and layer the artillery strike on top of it?
You kind of have to, right? I mean, you need to stop some form of momentum right now. God, dashing split-second reaction time, taking away Fox Senior's High's best chance of winning this fight. Now they're back to square zero. The sound barrier has to be there to compensate. They're rushing down the blue squad. Can they find any eliminations off of it? That's Kata, that's Vitrio, and several more to fall. Fox Senior High, they're going to get the robot back going, but 25 seconds left, Billy. Is a contest going to happen?
Oh, Super Hoff invests the window in a losing fight. You want that back. That's horrible luck there for the Fox Senior High Warriors, but they do have their artillery strike ready to go.
The artillery strike, really one of the few things that you're going to be able to work with, and it has to come up with something if you're nano read right now. And against Ventura, the most important pick, Kata falling as well. Francis Howell Central wiped off the face of the robot as Fox Senior High, not allowed to let this map slip away from them as easily as it looked before. Coliseo will be going the way of the Warriors.
Oh, the Warriors absolutely owning this one out, and Francis Howell had a chance. I mean, the Eat of the Blizzard gave them all that they could handle, but then the turn, the Nemesis form coming out from Fox Senior High was just too darn good. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This is a great play for them. Booping them in and just taking care of it, getting it done in the support role. You love to see it.
There's just so much that we can break down from this match alone, Billy. I mean, these teams clearly can keep up with one another. I'm seeing a lot of this communication within these squads, and that is probably one of the most difficult things to do when it comes to playing this team-oriented style of Overwatch. We're seeing them engage together. They're planning out these fights, using these ultimates accordingly, and that is incredibly impressive for high school Overwatch alone. These guys, they're going to push each other. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up taking the distance of this series, as Coliseo did get pretty darn close.
I mean, I think they finally got warmed up. I mean, it is a little chilly here in Missouri right now, so maybe the hands were a little bit frozen. But, you know, in hindsight, I mean, the fight planning from both teams, absolutely picture perfect. They gave themselves a chance to win. You know, even though Francis Howell does not win this round of push, I think that you take some really good positives from it. The fight planning, the coordination, the comms, 100%. All working perfectly. I mean, they put themselves in a chance to at least tie. So, I mean, for them, you know, the Spartans, you know, just, you know, GG, go next map. Keep the positive momentum going on, because I think you're working with something here.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, though, right? You have to keep your mental strong heading into this next game. If you let that round one of Coliseo start to get to your head, that's where you're going to lose a lot of that communication. Don't let that happen to you, Francis. You 100% have the potential to come back on map number 2 of Antarctic Peninsula. So, control map, different setting. And, of course, another chance for these teams to come out, and we will be kicking ourselves off on Labs.
Yep, we are in Labs here. This is the one that we didn't get a chance to see last time. And I think this is, I think that Icebreaker is my favorite of the submaps here in Antarctica. But I think that this second one is going to be Labs. I don't like I don't like the lower level ones. That one's just sub-level. Sub-level. Nuh-uh. I don't like that one. But we get a chance to see the Aurora Borealis out here. You know, beautiful map. I love this map, by the way. Just really? I love the aesthetics of the entirety of Antarctica and or Antarctic Peninsula and Penguin Overwatch. What are you talking about? It's the best part of the game. But I mean, you know, looking at what we're coming out here on, I mean, Dashing is still going to be running the Orisa. We're still going to see Gnarly Harbor on the Ramatras. I mean, the big difference, I think, was JD and Rogue. you know, they were very flexible in how they approached the point and how they approached their DPS chip picks.
Yeah, and they're doing a kind of a similar thing here, right? JD now will be on the Symmetra instead of Kata, so they're showing their flexibility, and this is why Kata on the Bastion is insane. The tracking is there. That's a big advantage for Francis Howell. All they need to do is find another elimination, start to close it out, but the Immortality Field has to be popped. They're forced back, and they lose out on their support. This one is not over yet. Kata has to come up big. It's another artillery form, close to getting the mate out. He'll be safe and sound in the ice block for now, but not for long. The entire team trying to collapse onto them. This one's getting scrappy, Billy, but both teams, they're still alive and fighting to the finest points of this game, but Dashing realizes that they are getting close and alone. You have to back off towards this objective. Allow your supports to heal you up. That's an early amp matrix from Superhoff. That's enough to give Francis Howell the cap.
Oh my gosh, I mean, they invested heavily. They invested early. They're getting the power through it. I mean, just that amplified damage is so darn good. Kata's going to have the first artillery strike online.
I mean, that's a big ultimate here for Kata to help zone out some of this space, this high ground. That's one of your best ways that you can start contesting it, especially with that amp matrix. You don't want to peek it, but if your Mango not behind it anymore, you're a little bit less afraid. The Blizzard, though, from Rogue, that's free shot for Gnarly Harbor in on the cleanup. Beautiful play once again for Rogue to win the fight for Fox Senior High.
I mean, the fight planning there once again is so good. Look at this Mango going over to an Ana. This is actually a wonderful change here.
Love that.
You're looking for sleep. You're looking for anti-nades coming in from the Ana, and you've got the Annihilation going on. I mean, Nanolation is one of my favorite ult combos in our new game, but the artillery strike is going to get the purchase on the point.
Yep, Kata initiating early artillery strike. Not going to find too much in terms of the kill feed, but Francis Howell Central now going to be moving over to this little high ground area and the photon barrier to get them onto point. They're planning out these fights just like we wanted. The Annihilation is going to get less value just with the shield in play. But it's Mango coming in. The Bionade was massive, Billy. They are going to be the hero for Fox Senior High in this fight. The Ana just has the potential to do so much, take these fights into their own hands.
I mean, that was a almost 30-second annihilation, BT dubs. Yeah. I mean, just great tendrils connection onto the members of this Spartan squad. And they are at 50% and climbing. Down bear and the artillery strike ready to go for Fox Senior High. So, I mean, they've got some initiation tools to really keep Francis Howell off this point.
100%, but they need to take that initiative quickly. That's what we've learned, because if you give Francis Howell the room to set up, things are gonna get dicey. So I like the positioning Fox Senior High are taking. The artillery strike once again, that will clear the space. Now they're ready for the engage, playing around the Bastion, but Tipic got a little bit too close of the fire from Kata. Will fall accordingly, and Francis Howell Central, they want to close this down, but the Nanobo's still committed onto Gnarly Harbor. They think that this is winnable. The Blizzard thrown out as well. Fox Senior High, they better win this fight with all of the resources thrown in, but it's not in the cards for them. They tried a little bit too hard on something that was already a lost cause.
JD taking the 1v1 up there against the Bastion, and they win. They win it out up against that and a May. So I mean, Photon Barrier again available to JD. This is going to be almost every other fight now that we're seeing this generation of this Photon Barrier. It is so massive up against this Bastion and Ramatra.
100%. I mean, JD right now, this is a big tool for Francis Howell to come on out. It seems a little bit earlier than my liking here, and ideally, they're looking for an elimination. The Spartans want to be the ones to strike first. It gets the Bastion formation out. Everyone's a little bit low. That's the Immortality Field gone. But Francis Howell, they're still just hanging out on the high ground. They know that this is going to be closer to one fight territory. Should they come out on top? And they still have 3 ultimates in the bank, Billy. That's the most impressive part, but you got to find something, because this Annihilation is going to run through them as soon as it is popped. That's Gnarly Harbor into the backline. Sound Barrier going to help negate some of that damage, but nobody is able to burn down their Amatra and all of the health that they have at their disposal. Even the assist from the later Sound Barrier. This fight played perfectly by Fox Senior High, biding their time, waiting for the tools to come in, and ideally hold on to another overtime situation.
Yep, I mean, they get 99 on the board, so I mean, you've got one final fight here. You've got the window available to both teams, but the big kicker that we've seen happen all day long is the Blizzard coming out from Rogue. Rogue, where are you at with this Blizzard? Are you going to put it out early and just deny a touch?
But they're already on the point. The teleporter genius from JD. That's going to get them on the point, but they didn't have time to set up their men with the Blizzard. Rogue, perfect placement, perfect timing. Fox Senior High coming out on top. Just one objective away from claiming game number 1.
Oh, my word. I mean, this is fantastic from them. Rogue is absolutely dirty in the most fabulous way possible. Oh, my goodness. I mean, they need to figure out a way to counter this May out. May is winning these fights for them. The walls that separate have been absolutely massive. The ability to heal yourself in the ice block, absolutely massive. And then, of course, we've seen Blizzards not only here, but also back on Coliseo. Those were fight-winning ultimates that Francis Howell just have not had an answer for. So we're going to go now and take a look at our penguins. We got penguins. AppCon gives us my penguins. They're so cute. I love them so much. I know, I'm such a goober. But I love it. And you know what? The fact that Mantrio is coming out here on the Kiriko means that you can cleanse out of the Blizzard. You can get yourself out of it. This might be the change that they needed.
It is. You're sacrificing the cleanse for speed, but considering the difficulties Francis Howell have been facing so far, it seems like it's going to be a worthy change, but if Nano Reed chucks in the explosive, full support's down in one blow. Senior High keeping the fireworks exploding here for our next match.
I like the Junkrat change, though. I love this change over to the Junkrat. Because, I mean, look at that. Almost has their ultimate in one fight, and that was a lost fight. JD. Yeah, this is a great change here. Now, I mean, you want to set the trap up, and you want to see if you can get Gnarly Harbor into it, because it's going to force so many resources out of Fox Senior High. They have the option now to rotate, and it's going to be an early tire. It's going to force so much out. This is what it's all about right now. It's about getting resources out of Fox Senior High.
Yep, and that's going to be the early engager. Typic overextended, so no Lucio. Early Harbor aggressive pin in onto the Orisa. It's something, but that tank has so much support going the direction, and 9 times out of 10, Reinhardt not going to fare well against the Bastion and a Junkrat. There's so much damage going the way of Fox Senior High, and that's going to be the point flipped. As of now, too, there's not even the Riptire was utilized in that fight either. JD still holding on into that ultimate here. So Francis Howell Central 100% have the tools in their toolbox to pull out and win this fight early, get the elimination off, and it's all in the hands of JD right now. But you need to do it quickly, because otherwise Fox Senior High, they're gonna act first. That's Kata gone down. This Riptire is gonna be big. It's on to 2. It's still winnable. 4v3 in favor of Francis Howell. They're gonna be able to close this one out. Look at the tracking here from Dashing, taking out Typic. And the blue team, they're gonna hold on.
They are going to hold on, but I mean, Blizzard has not been invested. Yeah, look at Rogue's. You know, you had the opportunity to throw the Blizzard there.
Yep.
And you hold on to it for a better fight. So, I mean, great discipline here from Rogue on the May. But now you're going into the Kitsune Rush. You're going into the window. You're going into everything except for that tire from JD. I mean, They don't have anything other than a sound barrier really to defend against this.
No, and that's going to be a big problem going on forwards. I mean, these fights are going to tick up. There's 4 ultimates in favor of Francis Howell, and this artillery strike looking rather dangerous. The Blizzard now out. Is it going to catch anybody? Dashing easily able to get away. Can't see the save for Kata, though. Rogue, once again, every time this Blizzard happens, Billy, it's at least 3 eliminations plus an entire fight win. The May should not be allowed to do this much.
I don't know how Gnarly Harbor doesn't go down there. I mean, literally 1 health and just the resources they're put in from Fox Senior High. Mango needs an extra bag of candy or something. I don't know, because it's spooky season, and it's scary how good the support was from Mango keeping Gnarly Harbor alive.
Mango has been doing a lot on the backside here. I mean, look at this immortality field. The placement of it is genius. There's just not a sightline to that ability to keep your right tank alive, and it's result the hopes of the fight. It's an expensive one for Fox Senior High, but with this annihilation invested, you're going to have no problem escorting Francis Howell straight back to spawn.
I mean, but you put 3 ultimates into the fight. I mean, you've got the artillery strikeout, you got the annihilation, you got the sound barrier. So you have options now. You've got a tire, but that's a huge kill. Oh, this is trouble.
That's big trouble. Big trouble, Billy. Oh, Fox Senior High. They're just on the initiative. They're on the aggressive. Yes, you're going to get Superhoff back, but it's not on the back. It's on the Kiriko. Yes, it is less sustained. The only thing they have to work with is this Riptire. JD popping it out here and now. What is it going to be able to find? Searching and waiting for the target for them to turn their backs. Wasn't happy with what they saw just yet. Going in this. Billy! JD coming up, killing the entire team of Francis Howell Central. And they're going to manage to flip this point back and give them one more chance at keeping their chances of winning alive.
Oh really happy. Right. Really happy. The chef seal of approval. Yes, I'm a happy chef right now. Superhoff halfway towards Kitsune Rush in that fight as well. So the tools are here. Final fight territory. Kata has the artillery strike coming in too.
Ooh, playing really close. They want to choke Francis off, and they do it, and they don't get the touch. Beautiful play. They don't even allow Fox Senior High to take the fight. The chance of winning completely negated, and this one, it is not done just yet. We're going down to sub-level to determine the outcome of Antarctic Peninsula.
Bleh. Okay. I don't like. Okay, I love the whole entirety of Antarctic Peninsula. This is my least favorite of the maps because it forces you into strange rotations, and you know you have to look like 360 degrees to figure out where somebody's coming from. There's two different levels that you can come on from the two sides, and then you've got this little weird middle barrier or a pillar platform in the middle. So it's kind of wonky. I think that for JD, if you can, use concussion or use one of your grenades, get up to that middle platform and just hold, this might be a really good option for them to kind of stake their claim on the ground and really, just spam those grenades. And we saw how effective he was there on an icebreaker.
Oh, definitely. And that's the level of effectiveness that you're looking forward to now because they have the speed. Look how much dashing has to be forced back, giving up the space, waiting for that cooldown of Nano Reed to go away. Once it is gone, you have a little bit more space, but the pressure is in. This is the dreaded part of this map, Billy, is you just get spammed from so many different angles. It's arguably one of the hardest control points to play in the entire game, and because Fox Senior High had the speed, they're going to have the advantage in game 1.
Yep, I mean, nobody's getting away. Nobody's getting away. You're all going to go back to spawn. Yeah, it's the speed. Once again, we talked about it in our first series. Now we're talking about it here again. It's speed, it's mobility, it's the ability to get on top of the other team and kind of blow past these stallers like a wall, like a immortality barrier. All these things they got out, but that's a big pick coming up. Big source of damage gone.
Go ahead and take those from those Junkrat geometry tosses, and what do you do? Gnarly Harbor just has to try to bunker down, get the killing of their team, and they have to forfeit the high ground here, so much better positioning in place for Francis Howell, and it's an early rip tire. How does JD do this, Billy? Another to come out, and that's both ports. The Junkrat of Francis Howell Central is putting in the hours and doing everything that this team needs to stay in control.
I like it. And they use it early. I mean, before, you're thinking, oh, we're going to line everybody up. Here in Overwatch 2, one kill really turns a fight. Getting a two-piece, that's a complete reset.
Yeah, no, it seriously, because there's one less hero now, you're on to 5v5 bases. You lose 2, don't even try. Go back to spawn, and at least for Fox Senior High, they only ended up using that amplification matrix and will have a lot to work with. 4 ultimates, to be exact. But again, the issue comes down to these rotations, the positioning. They're going to opt to go sit on the objective here, which you can't ignore. Kata through the double damage on the high ground. That is a critical error that Howell are happily taking.
I mean, and you lose Kata, but I mean the damage was already done. You can use you can get back to the fight relatively okay and in good shape there for Francis Howell. They about to cross the 60% mark here, and I mean they're no worse for the wear. They've got this Kitsune Rush to answer anything that Fox Senior High wants to throw at them.
I mean, they're just going to put it down on the high ground, and that's essentially a fight win here now. So Fox Senior High, you need to be taking the initiative. Our artillery strike to help that out. Rogue now on the Soldier 76 has attack visor. It's shut down there with this Kitsune Rush, Billy. Just like you said, this is going to be the fight turning point for Francis Howell. They're in control of the high ground. That's the artillery strike down from the other side. Nano Reed not standing a chance on Gnarly Harbor now. Annihilation into play. They can't run away. Ramacho the Tendril sticking them all down, and Fox Senior High still in the game.
Yep, I mean, that is a great ultimate there, and I mean, they had to invest in sound barrier. I mean, it was game over if they didn't invest it, so, I mean, they get the value out of it, they flip it, and they're, working their way towards 50%, but this now is a free and clear Terra Surge.
Yeah. You can't even combo the Riptire in that Terra Surge, Billy, which might just be what they're about to do. JD has come up big every time this ultimate has made a play. It's looking for the Terra Surge, but oh no! It can't get the climb to the high ground! Is it going to get there in time? No, it does not! That is tragic for JD! All they wanted to do was find some people to blow up. Still will be able to do so, just not with the ultimate itself. Mango is cut off, separated from their teams. A nice old bombs to send them back to spawn, as this is about to be final fight.
This is I mean, tragic on the tire, but I mean, gets the revenge. It makes up for the inability to get the tire where they wanted to go. This is all. Everybody throw themselves. This is done. This is done.
That's it. That's it. There's no touch. Francis Howell central, dashing, opening the door wide open, and they're about to slam it in the faces of Fox Senior High. They want to take this series the distance, Billy, and they are going to do just. It's only Rogue left standing on the point, who still manages to get 2. It is a 3v1 though. Don't expect that to amount to nearly too much. It does buy some stall power, some standing ground for Fox Senior High, but because of how far they're coming out, they are not going to be allowed another touch, as we are going all the way to map number 3 to decide the outcome.
Francis Howell, like I said,
Woo-woo.
you had something working. They're on Coliseo. They finally got their heads on straight. And good lord, the turn. The turn was so good. I mean, Nano Reed is so good on this Bastion. Just absolutely owning all these gamers right now. I mean, they're putting their hearts out there. This is just round 1, Tiny. So,
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
Missouri Esports is disney. It's good. It's good. Missouri Esports is good. We are built different. It's true.
We are built different. I mean, hey, maybe you're a little biased, but I'm gonna have to jump on that train too after what I'm seeing here in this. Okay, I'm gonna regret saying that later. 100% calling it now, but we're gonna go ahead look later down the line because we still have one more map to be played within this series. But this is where things are going to get interesting because it's Watchpoint Gibraltar, and that will completely change, or at least has the potential to change what these teams are running in terms of these compositions. Brawl, not even close to as valid as it has been on our past couple of maps.
Sure. And I mean, this is going to be something very interesting for me, how these two teams actually approach this upcoming map, because, I mean, we've had a control, we've had push, where you kind of have to throw yourself at a point. Now, we can actually set up strategies. And I think this is where we're really going to see the brains of these gamers as we enter into this next game mode. So, I mean, for Watchpoint Gibraltar, I mean, that's fantastic. I think that... it could be one of those maps where, you know, we see 2 full holds, and it's just going to be like meters between how close it's going to be. Because, I mean, we've seen 2 points where they have just thrown themselves at each other. And now, you know, you have to set up strategy. You have to make rotations. You have to know when to give a fight up. And that's the big difference. So, nope, as we enter into Gibraltar, you know, there are some changes to the maps. If you haven't been in Overwatch 2, there have been some geometrical changes to our maps. It's easier for teams to get back from spawns, especially defending spawns. And there's a little less advantage to when you are coming out of attacker spawn. So they've really made this a lot more conducive to real competitive play. Fox Senior High looks like they want to stay here on the attack. So Francis Howell, you know, they're going to know what kind of a benchmark they're going to need to beat.
Yeah, so Francis Howell will be on the defense, switching it up a bit, dashing on the Sigma. This is going to provide a bit more cover for Kata and JD to have that more spam damage that you want, right? The Sigma's not going to do well if you're taking the close fight, which is why I like this teleporter a lot. Rogue just immediately getting Fox Senior High onto the high ground out of this choke. But they've expended a lot of their key cooldowns just getting to this point, Billy, so they're not in a position to necessarily drop down to take this fight. And look at the Riptire charge. JD's gonna get one, and we are not even 30 seconds in to this entire game. It is ridiculous how this is happening. Elimination has gone through, but will it be enough to stop JD? Riptire in hand, gonna pop it almost immediately after. Absolute supports down! Francis Howell Central. JD is the star for this team, and is going to continue to do so here on Watchpoint.
Absolutely massive. I mean, that generation of the tire is just so good. Look at V-Man Trio right there, getting the kill onto Rogue as well. We're not seeing the May. I mean, May does not play very well here.
No.
Going to go over to their own Bastion. So double hit scan look coming out from Fox Senior High.
Okay. more of this range damage that you want to see, and that's gonna help. The question is, how do they approach the point? Because you can look right now how devastating it would be for Fox Senior High just to try to push this on this low ground. You have the pressure of Kata and JD spamming down these choke points, and like Rogue almost ends up going down there. Looks like they're gonna try to walk across this bridge on the high ground. A very interesting approach, considering the routes that they could have taken, but hey, it's one nonetheless. We'll find a couple shots with their artillery strike up in the mix. Everyone able to get across safe and sound. Typic barely able to do so, and they're ready to take another battle here. They're met by JD. They've learned from their mistakes last time. At least you can hope, and they're going back out on the bridge. Amplification Matrix. These sightlines are wonderful, just sitting behind the shield of Gnarly Harbor. Once that goes down, you don't have the protection. You'll see those health bars start to suffer as a result. Nano Reed not low, and the payload still yet to move as Francis Howell Central are finding those eliminations after the engage comes in.
The focus fire. The
It's
focus
ridiculous.
fire. The turn. As a 5-man unit. Just absolutely perfect here from Francis Howell. We are at 96 seconds left here in point A. And they are no closer to moving this payload than they were at the start. So, I mean, look at this. I mean, the ultimate rotation as well. I mean, JD is getting the work done. The healers are just absolutely perfect. And now they're going to go ahead and put a window out.
I mean, you lose so much. Kata just chills behind the window. JD, okay, perhaps getting a little bit confident here, dropping down, but you're a Junkrat. You're not afraid of anything, right? And what do you have here? About 70 seconds left, and Francis Howell Central are not even close to getting knocked off of their high post.
Well, I mean, Shatter is an initiation tool.
Potentially.
That,
Can they get there?
potentially. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they do. And I mean, look at this. Sneaky tire location. I mean, you're going to try and pull out there's the immortality barrier. Oh, it's free.
It's free. The teleporter going in too. They're all condensed. The team kill for JD. Just had to do a little bit more. All right, I see you out there. This is the guy. This is the Junkrat player of the day. If anything is able to do something like JD is doing right now, I will be shocked because they are simply on another level.
JD is him. That's all there is to it. JD is him. Over to the Junker Queen. A little bit more frontline damage, but no mitigation now. So, I mean, this is even easier with the artillery strike coming out, dashing so low. They live. They live.
They live. I mean, they had to get aggressive if you're Fox Senior High. Just force the payload as much as possible with no take. You don't have an ability to contest the objective. Your resources were exhausted from that last battle, and this is where it is all going to stand up for Francis Howell Central. You guessed this at the beginning of the map. You thought we'd see a close hold, Billy? Well, here you have it. Francis Howell putting on a showcase of what to do on the defense and setting the task high for Fox Senior High.
Oh, I mean, this is strategy at its best. I mean, you've got basically a shooting blind available to Francis Howell there on the high ground. You never dislodged the tank. I mean, dashing really wasn't feeling any pain whatsoever, and it just allowed JD to go around the map and just start flinging in those concussive mines and just spamming the damage in with the grenades. I mean, just absolutely picture perfect fight planning and picture perfect strategy. They knew exactly where they wanted to hold. You saw JD, you know, when they needed to go down to the low ground, and you would see the swift step come through from V-Man Trio, and then right back up. And I mean, it was just wash, rinse, repeat, and it was so perfectly done. Now for Fox, I mean, you know, they need to think about, you know, the same kind of concept here. You need to run the Sigma, because up against the Bastion, you saw it time and time again. Dashing was able to use the kinetic grasp to get that overshielding and just withstand everything. And, you know, Rogue coming back out onto the May, they're going to try for a close hold. I'm not sure about this one, Chief. I'm not sure about this one.
What other options do you have? I mean, this is interesting. We don't really see this often on Watchpoint Gibraltar, and this is risky. This is risky, but where that gold box of victory is, you have to try something, and
They know
what's happening. In Fox Senior High, they were spotted out. You have a window to just watch and see where your opponents are setting up, and the payload's just going to be moving. So, I mean, the Spartans, they gotta find some point to engage, but it's the Warriors to drop down first. The Maywall not exactly isolating anyone just yet, but it does get Kata down, so it's a lot less pressure onto their tank. so Gnarly Warrior can stay alive, use the shield as needed. So this is going to be a potential game plan change for Francis Howell here. Is Fox Senior High off to a decent start?
Yeah, but you got tired already.
You're kidding! No! JD!
You got tired. JD knew exactly what JD was doing there. JD is him. Like I said, I mean, they know. They know that this tire, I mean, you force out the immortality barrier, and then you go in with the tire. There's nothing to protect against. I mean, Tippin might actually get sound barrier up.
They honestly might, but what can you do? Amp Matrix was there. Mango builds that one up quickly, and that's all they're going to use in this battle. So Fox Senior High, JD didn't get the rep tire just yet. Will have it for this next engage. I hope they don't use it right exactly at this point. So, I mean, Fox Senior High, they're not in a terrible spot when it comes to the ultimate economy.
I mean, it's only a minute 20 off the clock, though. I mean, They have to withstand a lot, and I think that Francis Howell, they're smart. They play for 5 ultimates. Well, nope, that's not happening.
The sound barrier! The sound barrier dropped. Everybody is still alive. The Riptire not coming up with anything, but the damage shall be dealt. That is Francis Howell Central coming up with the elimination they need. They needed that one life belly. You can see the golden box of victory just ahead on your screen as the payload begins to roll down. The reverse sweep will become a reality as Francis Howell are winning their first game.
Absolutely perfect from them. They just played for 2 ultimates. They played for 2 ultimates. They knew they had the advantage, especially with the previous fight where they threw out the sound barrier. They threw out the amplification matrix. I mean, even the blizzard came out from Rogue, generated it super fast. But still, This is the fight right here. This is where they just moved through, mowed down, got it done. And I'm so how is the 5-man tire not the play of the game? How?
I don't understand. The game's broken, right? The game's broken. That's the only logical reason that I can go with, Billy, because I mean, JD is giving me a headache. Like, JD's gonna be the only reason that I'm gonna lose my voice casting today. You cannot do this to me, JD. You can do this to your opponents, great. But don't make me yell so much that I can't speak, because we got a lot more Overwatch to talk about, and, you know, this was just on a whole nother level. The fact that this is round 1 blows me away. I will not be surprised if we see these 2 teams face each other later down the line, Billy.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, there is a lower bracket run in store here for Fox Warriors, but I mean, Francis Howell comes back from the brink, gets pretty beat up on Colosseo, and then takes Antarctic in 3 maps, and then here we have the really full hold, and it only takes 2 fights for them to get it done. So fantastic work to both teams, though. I don't think that Fox need to be really worried about a lot because they just did it. So you know what? We're gonna get our next 2 teams up ready to go. Don't go away. We're gonna throw it to a little bit of an extended break while we get them set up, but we'll be back in just a few minutes.